It's so bad. So anything else you can do, do that.
This is a good time to go explore other hobbies. Oh my God. What an episode of Niisan podcast this week.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome. This is another episode of Niisan podcast with, of course, yours truly, me, Crim, also known as the Asian Avenger. And this week we have a special guest. His name is Xell.
That's me.
He's our special guest.
Who am I right now? Like, what is my picture?
Oh, yeah, I guess we don't know. Well, the thing here is, as you know, the reason why we've been I've been talking to this NFW, if you've paid attention to the last episode, non-fungible weeb, this little avatar, is because Xell is currently a little under the weather, and so I've just been imagining him a lot like the creature thing from Pan's Labyrinth, the one that holds his eye.
I'll just explain myself so that people don't think I am either like have cancer or COVID or also some sort of degenerative disease that turns me into the guy from Pan's Labyrinth.
You're just very naked, okay? That's what I mean.
But yeah, I've just these past few weeks I've been having these really bad allergy attacks, which leave my skin incredibly itchy, which means that contact with anything, including clothes, makes it flare up. Although this week it has been a lot better, so maybe by next week I'll be good to go.
Oh man, that's gonna be dope. I actually might not be used to seeing you.
Yeah, I know.
Like, will you even look this? What if this is like you're in like a cocoon right now, and then like you when I see you again, you're just like full on like 7'2", super ripped, and that's the reason why you've been having this reaction.
I have also been dieting these last few days, so you know it could be true. By the time you see me, I might be jacked. I won't be 7'2",
jacked, and only eats black licorice. You know, weird thing. I don't know.
I've never heard of that diet, but maybe it could happen. It could be anything. You know,
we can't say no.
Behind this black box that you cannot see. I could be a car.
But yeah, so this week's episode is going to be a fun one because, wow, this season is really bad. But you know what? Regardless of it being terrible, we have done our duty, right? We've done our we've done it for you. We've decided we would watch a good majority of the shows, even the ones that we said we weren't hyped on. We're still gonna watch them.
I let Crim tank that. I'm gonna be honest. I will be very honest with everyone listening here. I have given into despair, and I started watching just everything else I possibly could.
Is that paint drying over there? Oh my God, let's watch
Wonderful.
that.
It could be much better than most of the anime this season. No, I've been, you know, because our last episode we talked about like anime that we're catching up on. I've been fully invested on catching up on shows that I haven't watched. But yeah, we'll get into that later.
Oh, it's easy, by the way. If you alternate between this season, an episode from anything this season, and then a good show, it's like a palate cleanser. So
so
what I do is I just
between sushi bites, right?
Like I watch some really bad show, throw on an episode of Slam Dunk. I'm like, oh, dude, okay, all right, for sure. But before we get into that, we have a little tidbits of news on this week's Weeb Weekly. Xell, take us into it.
Yeah,
whichever side our editor puts you on.
Yeah. So first of all, because this relates to some of the video game habits that Crim and I have, we play Final Fantasy 14. So a couple weeks back, we talked about how no one was able to actually play the game because of queues. And one of the things that they ended up doing was canceling people's ability to even buy the game. And now on January 25th, they will resume digital sales. That's such a weird headline to say.
Sorry, bro. We're all sold out of MMO.
We're all sold out of this digital. Like, is Final Fantasy 14 already on the NFT thing? Like, digital scarcity is a real thing. Like,
oh my God,
what is happening
please
here?
No.
But yeah, so you can once again play the critically acclaimed MMO, Final Fantasy 14 with a free trial that lets you play up until Heavensward for free.
Award-winning expansion Heavensward Xell.
Sorry, I mixed it up. But yeah, so that's like a funny little tidbit there.
Yeah, that's cool. We can hang out again.
Yeah, we can actually start playing,
Yeah, wow, it's cool.
Out. Wow, okay.
Wow.
So this was a random article I saw on Anime News Network. They had this title post where it says trade group manga pirate sites cost industry 1.19 trillion yen in 2021. According to this journal publication thing, and apparently there were about 900 manga piracy websites, and I'm sure that the manga industry is not super happy about just the I guess the frequency at which people are going to pirate things. But one of the things that I always think about is how pirating is usually it only really exists because the genuine article doesn't really do the service well, right? And I think about the times where you remember when Napster was really apparent and all that stuff, and then really iTunes changed the game where people were I can buy music and easily it's just so accessible. Spotify, same thing. And even with anime itself too, I remember when everyone used to just pirate their anime because there was no really any other option, right? But now there is, and Funimation exists, Crunchyroll exists. Not saying that those sites are great at what they do, but they exist and they're good enough. And I bet you that piracy has gone down for anime because people are willing to pay money for convenience. And I think right now manga just is in the state where I don't know. It's funny because last week you talked about the Shonen Jump app, and that was actually the first time I had heard of that, and I was like, that should be a mainstay for people, right? Is
right.
They should be. This should be a no-brainer for people to have a manga app like that, and it's the first time I heard of it.
It's brilliant and it's super easy to navigate, and I fell in love.
Us,
and you know what the best part? Yeah, sponsor us, Shonen Jump app, please. Oh my god. I mean, you already get my money anyways, but whatever. Hey, legitimate though. This Marvel going to the digital app, right? So you could read comics digitally. All these things are they just make it so much easier, right?
Yeah.
When there's an official app or an official thing that people can just get it from. And oftentimes there's so many publishers, there's there's a billion different publishers. So if all of them just made an app and then made it like how Shonen Jump did, this would be problem solved, right? And it's not even that expensive either. So from the consumer standpoint, this is only $3 a month, and I get to read up to 100 chapters, I think, a day or something like that. Mm-hmm. I don't think I'm reading 100 chapters a day anyways, ever. I don't think I've hit my cap ever. But the thing is, I think it's awesome for $3. This is a steal. If you haven't done so, please look at the Shonen Jump app. We are not sponsored. I'm telling you this because it is going to change your life. It's so good. It's so good, dude. It's so good.
Yeah. So in any case, I think when, these apps sort of either get marketed better so that people know about it, or two, just the service gets better. I think, I think the piracy issue would be less of a thing. Cause I certainly, when I am hey, there's the webtoon Solo Leveling, and I was where do I even read this thing? I Google it, and I'm I can't even find the official website. It's just oh, here's a piracy website. I'm dude, what, why do they make it so hard to access these things? Just make it easier. People will pay for it. So figured that was a kind of an interesting little topic there. And then last on my list for this Weeb Weekly from me, anyways, is that the new movie Belle, which is the latest film from Mamoru Hosoda, who's known for movies like Wolf Children, Girl Who Leapt Through Time, Summer Wars, earned $2 million in the U.S. opening weekend, which sets a new record for Mamoru Hosoda films. And I was actually very lucky enough to see it this last week in IMAX, which was fantastic. I just wanted, so again, I've done everything I can to avoid watching this seasons of anime, and so me and Kelly went out and actually risked our lives from Omicron variant COVID to watch this this movie, and I gotta say it's amazing, and I really think people should go and watch it because I think this is one of my favorite movies from Mr. Mamoru. So like it's wonderful. So
it's limited release stateside, right? Like right now, like it's like a limited release. So the fact that you're able to catch it, that's pretty big.
Yeah, exactly. It was, and Kelly was saying that because she took me to the theaters and I had no idea what I was gonna go watch, and she was saying that it was sold out everywhere. So and I can't imagine that there was that many.
Would you ever just go watch a movie if I took you?
Yeah, I don't know. Why not?
Okay, cool. All right, sick.
Okay, well now I'm
just saying that's cool. That's
Why
cool.
was that so sus?
No, that wasn't sus at all. I was just saying that's true. That's chill. Cool, dude. All right, man. Hey, that's good. I'm just thinking about it. That's all.
Well, you should go watch Belle, Crim, if you haven't already. So
I will. I gotta find a theater that's playing it, and then and see if it's still in theater, because I do want to see it actually. Believe it or not, I sometimes watch quality things, but
we'll get into that later.
It feels like it's been so long since I've watched anything quality because I've been watching so much of this season. So, but yeah.
And I know, Crim, you have some news to bring in here as well.
Yes. So as we film this, the Moon Knight trailer has just dropped. And for those that have no idea what Moon Knight is, I totally understand, because I think in the world of Marvel characters, he's like a vigilante-ish hero. He's definitely not like, one that you would show to have your kids watch. He like kind of just pretty much like skins cuts a dude's face off, right?
Oh my gosh.
So the thing here that makes me worried about this show is like the trailer looks great, right? The trailer looks awesome. Marvel has killed it with all their TV shows. At the very least, it's been at least watchable, right? They're like, whatever, turn my brain off popcorn. But this trailer and this show has already shown me that, okay, they get that the character has this thing where he believes in Khonshu, like he the moon god. He draws his power from the moon, but on top of that, he's got like multiple personalities running around in his head. So there's just like constantly just like voices talking to him, and they seem to really lean into that in the trailer, which is exactly what I want, because like that's what the comics are like, right? But my concern here is like the trailer looks sweet, but this is one of those shows where I just told you, in the comic book, he cuts a dude's face off. It is not PG-13. This should be rated R. So I don't even know if the rating on it is out yet. I don't think it is. But I can tell you this. If it's on Disney Plus, I can't imagine letting 2-year-old Timmy casually tune in and watch Moon Knight flay a human being alive, right? Like,
right.
So
Disney's really protective of their like sort of kid friendliness. So I guess the concern is like you might lose that character, right, through kind of like censorship.
I'm kind of like concerned about that because I love Moon Knight, and the censorship really hurts, right? We're already dealing with troubles, like with the fact that Deadpool 3 isn't out, and Deadpool was an R movie.
Yes.
Like just very much so an R-rated movie, right? So what are they going to do? Because they already said they want 3 to happen. It makes too much money to not make, but Disney now owns them, right? Because Disney bought Fox. So this seems like one of those things where it's just in limbo. And Ryan Reynolds, I'm sure he'll still look amazing in his 90s, but he's not getting younger. So the longer they take, the more time that goes by, right? Mm-hmm. So I am concerned about this because we just had finished Hawkeye, and not only after finishing Hawkeye, we had just gotten news that Charlie Cox is back to play Daredevil, which means that yes, all the shows on Netflix have now reverted back to Marvel. So we're going to see these things probably slowly weave back in, right? Like Punisher, all that, but will they be rated R like they should have been? And that is a concern I have. So I don't know. Moon Knight trailer looks cool, but it looks like it's going to be very PG-13.
Yeah. And thinking back to the original Deadpool movie, like imagining that under the Disney brand, no way, man, no way. So it's kind of a pickle. I'm kind of curious what will happen from it, and if because like I just took a look at the trailer, and like literally at the end of the trailer, you just see Moon Knight just beating the crap out of a guy, but like,
no blood.
Is that it? Is that it?
Yeah. He's not going to turn him into a kite or anything? Okay, well, all right, sure.
God. Doesn't even get me halfway there. Sorry, what? Okay.
Not even half mass.
So now with that, we're going to get into the main topic for today, which is going to be the season of disappointment. We'll see. As much as I've said how disappointing this season is, there are a couple of things that have looked okay to me, and we'll see. Because I think one of the things that's for sure from this season is I think like top end wise, like this is a heavy hitting season for like the big anime, right? Like Demon Slayer has the season has been incredible so far with the entertainment arc, and then you have Attack on Titan, which is obviously again, it's a titan of the industry, and like. It's going to be a huge hit, I think, no matter what. And of course, I'm going to throw in Osama Ranking in there as just like incredible shows. So the heavy hitters continue to be heavy. What a surprise! But we'll also get into some of the newer shows that are starting to air. So yeah.
Okay, so I think like Xell had mentioned, we can talk about it a little bit later if you want. But like the thing is. I don't watch Attack on Titan. I haven't watched it since season 2.
Yeah.
Everyone's pumped on it, so I'm sure people will be happy. I'm in love with Demon Slayer. I read through everything and whatnot, and I just seeing what they've brought to life in the anime and like improving on it with the godly animation of Demon Slayer and the UFO table and all that stuff has just been so cool.
Yeah, let's talk about it a little individually. I'll cover Shingeki no Kyojin because I watched the first episodes, and first of all, I think like the show is incredible still. However, I will say after a kind of like a couple months break from the season, I had no idea. I had to screw in everything again of like, oh, who is what faction? Because I know this is your favorite part of Attack on Titan, Crim, which is the politics, and the politics get really,
oh my God, yes,
really confusing again because without spoiling anything for Crim here, just that all the factions are pretty similar in sort of like what they look like, but then there's like. People double crossing two sides of the three, and then you're like, okay, wait, whose motives are what? And so going back straight into it, yeah, it was just like a lot. Episode 1 to remember like, okay, what the heck is happening? But I will say like everything so far has just amped up my excitement for the ending of the show, which I hear has been awful, but I'm still excited. I want to see where the anime takes it, and I've been really enjoying it so far. So that's Attack on Titan. Let's go into Demon Slayer a little bit more. Crim, what is there to say, I guess?
I mean, what is there left to say about the show, right? Like it's fun to hate on it, I guess, like if you're trying to be like somewhat of an anime hipster. But like honestly, everyone hates it's gotten to where it has. Its success is well earned. Why? Because this show has clearly shown that the animation is godly. The fight scenes are absurd. I really cannot stress how good this past episode was.
Yeah.
Just like without too many spoilers, it's just like, we've been waiting for Nezuko to do stuff. Nezuko does stuff.
She does stuff. Yeah, that's
she
for certain.
Does stuff, right? Like so, and my God, this is like, I don't know, like if it's good or bad that anime has technology gone too far. Because I am going to say it now. Because God, this looks so good that it's hard to almost watch anything else.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? You're like,
dude.
it's like downgrading.
I'm glad you brought up the haters because, like, as one of the people who, you know, was always saying that, like, Demon Slayer is, you know, blah, 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 overhyped maybe and yada, 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 it is still a damn good show. And they really flex how strong everything is right off the bat with entertainment arc and, like, some of the character development stuff and just, like, seeing the personalities shine a little bit more, like, man, it has been awesome. And yeah, the fight scenes are just amazing. And Ufotable's sort of classic style of bringing together CG environments and crazy camera spins and amazing lighting effects. And oh my God, it's just, it's gorgeous. And on top of that, like the characters are great and the story is interesting. And this last episode, there was kind of a twist on what the heck, who the real like villain really is here. And I think it's no surprise to me how popular Kimetsu no Yaiba is, and the momentum has just been going up and up for me.
Yeah, again, just 10 out of 10. If you haven't watched, it's never too late. I promise you, this is going to be a timeless show. I think, in at least because the art alone will like just be beautiful. It'll always be monumental to me. Just how good it looks. And then on top of that, it's just a good show. So if you haven't started it now, Demon Slayer, get on it. If you've somehow missed it or haven't heard of it and you've been on a rock, check it out. Now,
there's just no way you couldn't have heard about it. Really. Even if you lived under a rock, even Patrick Starfish has heard of Demon Slayer.
What do you think Patrick has that TV in his house for? Patrick Star watches Demon Slayer. He's got a Tanjiro poster in the background. You just don't see it.
Oh my God.
But, so yeah, those are the, okay, no brainers. Those were obviously bangers. But the new show from this season, Disc Doll, My Dress Up Darling.
Yes.
That's I think that was one of the, for me at least, that was also one of the ones I was more hyped on. And my initial first reaction was that this show was going to probably be trashy, you know, super fan servicey, right? And then I've had tons of people kind of like give me some pushback on that, saying, hey, it's going to be, I promise you this, it will be wholesome and heartwarming. So now, okay, keep that in mind. Okay, so
that's
now
the expectation. We're going into this with an open mind. It won't be too fan servicey. It'll have some great wholesome moments. Yes, okay. And we watched it.
We watched it, right? We watched it, and there's 2 episodes out at the time of filming, and you know, the animation is very good, you know, like
what is that hand motion? Is that like
for the listeners?
Is that what that is?
Yes. Like, I'm actually not just rubbing my chest. What that is Jesus. The budget is entirely in her boobs, right? Like let's just cut right to it, right? I mean, oh my God, dude! Like there was one scene in the second episode where she stands up, and I'm just like, her boobs just did the wave. Like they just did the wave. They just straight did the wave
by itself with 2 boobs. Yeah, that's it.
Hold on, both of them? Like usually most studios can only afford the budget to maybe animate one. Both? Okay, hold on. And outside of that though, so I thought, okay, I knew there was going to be trashy moments, right? And like, because there's the upskirt shots, all of this stuff, like classic anime angles that I'm always just like, why are we here? Okay, sure, whatever. But the dude Gojo, not Gojo Senpai like from Jujutsu Kaisen, which is all I think about every time when I hear the name. But yes, so so far the first 2 episodes, I could see how this show starts off a lot. You know, I'll give it a shot, right? Because I mean, I enjoyed it so far, but it could start a little bit like how Miruko-chan started. Mm-hmm. If you think about it, Miruko started off with fan service, butt shots. I mean, boob animation not as good as obviously Dress Up Darling, but the thing here is like, yeah, like this has the makings to be a cute romantic show. The character, you know, he's like this really awkward loner dude, and he just like makes dolls, does all this stuff, and then she just wants to cosplay, right? And I think Marine she has the personality of somebody that you want to simp for, right? But the thing here is like, sorry, cough. So yeah, like I've watched 2 episodes. I've enjoyed it, but so far the level of fan service has been off the charts.
Yeah, episode 2 really just turned it up to an 11. I mean, okay, so this is not really much of a spoiler, right? She's a cosplayer, and so they have to take her measurements, and wow, hilarity ensues. Drop the mic, and I will say, like, despite there's a lot of things in this show that I'm like, okay, I roll my eyes at, right? Like, okay, nerdy guy, outgoing girl. Like, again, we re-acknowledge that that the average Japanese anime watcher, their biggest need and fetish in life is having a girl bust into their life and take it over for them. That is just like the common theme in so many romance animes. Is just like awkward guy, loud girl who suddenly is like is interested in him, right? And this is no different than that. I will say, though, within the sort of details of the thing, there's like some parts that I found pretty charming and some really fun humor moments. Like in episode 2, like she hands him the reference material for the cosplay that she wants to do, and she tells him to study it, and it's like a super fetish game, arrow game type of thing. And his like grandfather walks in on him and he's just like stone cold studying the game as it's like bright pink in his room. And it's like, it was just like a really, really funny scene in a midst of just like a lot of trash. And it was just one of those moments where like, I think the show does lend itself to some like self-awareness, I think, especially because like, because of how I guess normal Gojo is and how outgoing the other girls, like you get that little dichotomy, and we get that like, oh, she is kind of a weirdo actually. And it really, you would expect the loner guy who builds dolls in his free time to be the weird one, but really it's like there's a give and take here, right, between people's interests, and I like that dynamic a lot. And I'm hoping though that they do tone it down. There's almost like at this point, I've seen every square inch of her at this point. So like, I don't know how many more gooch shots I need to really like get it, but
I think maybe like 20 more.
Maybe 20 more. Yeah, maybe.
I like, okay, I'm not going to sit here and try to tell you that it needs to like tone down the fan service. What I want more of is I want them to work on their dynamic more.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Like I went into this as I'm going to watch a romance anime, slice of life, comedy, whatever, right? But like so far, it has the cute parts, but like kind of like very surface level stuff for like their relationship and their dynamic. But I want to see them really dig into the meat of their relationship and like, like I want to see them blossom and become this full-fledged couple, and I want to see how their interactions play out, because that's the difference between any other random romance anime that comes out every year or any kind of ecchi slice of life kind of like romance thing, right? And like maybe like the good stuff. Like there's you want to have ecchi, you want to have whatever fan service, that's fine, but give me also the love story and the intimacy that I like, the emotional intimacy. I have to clarify that because we're going to talk about something later. So
yeah.
Yes, the emotional intimacy between the two, and that's what I want more of from this show so far. But right now, solid. I'm going to keep watching it.
Yeah, I definitely will be watching it as well, and this is again one of the most hyped shows, at least original shows from the season. So, a couple of the next big shows I think are just like part 2s or part 3s of other shows.
Yeah.
Like I know Arifureta is on its second season. Vanitas no Cart is on its second season. And then Takagi-san, I know some people are really into that, and that's the third season for that show. Have you watched any of these?
No, I mean, you all know we both started with Vanitas, and I held on a little bit longer, and it just kind of wasn't that great. So unfortunate, because I mean, people like it, and I guess I'm just missing it. We didn't like 86 either.
Is it the kids who are wrong?
Oh yeah, of course. I mean,
Yes, of
when
course,
they
right?
get older and they get seasoned, they'll understand.
Speaking of 86, because again, I cannot hammer this enough about how much I've just avoided this watching stuff from this season. I went and watched a show that has been recommended to me a couple times. Gundam fans will know this one for sure, but
Ooh, yeah.
Iron-Blooded Orphans, which is a Gundam like spin-off, I guess. Has a very similar concept to 86, and in one episode I was like, wait, the show is so much better than 86. Like, it's like such a similar concept. Like in episode 1, it's literally like, here's like random political girl from like this powerful nation who has like a level of empathy towards like these orphans who are sent out into the battlefield as fodder, right? Literally the same as 86, and
Yep.
they just make the orphans so much cooler and so much more enjoyable as characters in Iron-Blooded Orphans, and so much more badass as well, because like it's just so much cooler to watch them fight in that show. And like, oh god, I'm sorry, 86 fans, I just don't get it. And especially now watching Iron-Blooded Orphans, I'm just like, why would I watch 86 when I could just watch this? So that's what I've been watching.
Fair, totally
Okay.
fair. I mean, that's also a show I was recommended, right? Because I haven't liked a Gundam in so long. So yeah, I probably should watch Iron-Blooded Orphans once I get done watching all the bad stuff this season.
Oh yeah, maybe there's some surprises out there, right? So
Maybe.
next, has this show aired yet? The Genius Prince?
The Genius Prince, I think, just aired at the time of filming, so we didn't see
Okay.
it. But already, it just didn't look entertaining. No, wait, it has aired. It has aired.
It has aired? Okay, because I
Yes.
don't see it on my Crunchyroll, but I know it's supposed to be on Crunchyroll.
Is it Crunchyroll or is it on Funimation?
Oh my god!
Because I think I'm pretty sure that I saw this on Funimation because I did
okay.
watch it.
Oh, you did
watched
watch it.
Yes, I did watch it.
All right.
How
What's
much
your
I
first
paid it-
impression?
So it's just everything else. It's just kind of boring. It doesn't really entertain me at all, and I couldn't stay focused. It just wasn't that good, dude. It was just so cookie cutter. So it wasn't offering anything new to me, really. And the characters are all really boring, and that's kind of just it for me. Like the animation, I guess, was like okay. It was no UFO table, but like Yeah, I don't know. I maybe I just need to watch it again. But I can tell you right now that from Genius Prince, the first watch through, like I could not stay focused. It just was not entertaining.
How about the next show, Sabikui Bisco?
Seabiscuit, I haven't seen this one, so I've been calling it Seabiscuit this whole time. I have no idea what it actually is. I haven't seen it though, and maybe this is the good one. Maybe this is the good one.
It could be.
Unlikely.
It could be.
It's very unlikely, but it could be.
It's unfortunate because the show that we actually were interested, Koroshi-ai, like someone interested, I should say, hasn't aired yet. So
Yeah,
We'll see about
it
this
was
one.
me. It was me. Everybody, surprise! It was me. I want to see this so bad.
Oh wait, did it just air on Crunchyroll? I think it just came out. Love of Kill.
It came. Yeah, well, that must have happened. It must have gone up as we filmed this, like right now.
Yeah, because we do film around midnight. So.
Yeah, that's right. So okay. Well, then in that case, after this, I'm gonna reward myself. Please be good with an episode of the show. But other than that, like I'm not watching Princess Connect RE Dive Season 2 because I didn't watch the first one. However, I did watch Sasaki to Miyano. You know, I was like, you know what, this season I'm feeling spicy. I'm gonna add some BL to my timeline.
Oh yeah, how was it?
I watched both episodes of it, and it's very much so. If you like BL, you like how fabulous and like gorgeous all the male leads are, then you know like this is your jam, right? Like, and I was like, okay, that's a very like beautifully drawn like dude, right? Like, and like these like they're all so well drawn and artwork wise, like I do love the art here. Now the interactions between them is because so the younger one, I believe Miyano, the dark haired one.
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of cute. Like there's like the way they build their relationship. Like Miyano is like, oh, kind of talks to his senpai Sasuke, and he's like, oh, well, he asks to, like, Sasuke asks Miyano if he likes to read manga or anything like that, and that's the younger one then responds, or the dark haired one responds, oh, yes, sure. I only have this though, and he pulls it out of his bag, and it's like essentially equivalent to a brown paper bag that shows nothing through it. And then he goes and freaks out, and he's just like, don't open this, don't talk about this or anything from this around others. Treat this like a disease or something, a curse that you don't want to show. So hide it. And then I was like, okay, that's a strong way to start off the episode. And then eventually it goes into this, oh yeah, that's because I love BL stuff, and so that manga is all about BL. And then Sasuke then comes to visit Miyano like every day, and it's like kind of cute. They built this little relationship, but in the context of like BL shows, this doesn't offer anything new. It just is more of what you know. Like example, Triage X. That was a show I watched. It was bad. It was very bad, like unbelievably bad. But the thing here is it gives you like the action ecchi kind of show you want, right? So like going into that, if what you want is like ecchi action kind of stuff, like not like action like more like action like pew pew pew, right? So like that, if you like BL, this is going to be fun for you. But to me, I felt like the characters didn't do anything new. They weren't any more charming than anything else. Like I liked, there are other shows that are better. This was just okay.
Next show on the list is Akebi-chan no Sailor-fuku. This is like Akebi's sailor uniform. It's like the show about this girl who really wants a sailor uniform. This show has, like, by the way, some of the most absurd animation for a slice of life show I've ever seen. It shifts, by the way. It has like it feels like two studios did it. There's some where it looks really pretty, and there's some where it's like, did they finish that? Really? I thought this show was just like so like insane. Like some of the most mundane shots of her just like, oh, I'm just going to sit here or whatever. Or like, I'm going to tie up my hair in a ponytail, and like the frames on that. I was like, dude, there are literally anime shows that aired today that have less frames in an entire episode than a single scene in this show. Like this show is insane animation wise. It's crazy. However, that said, having watched the first episode, like my first impression of it was like, hasn't started super strong. Like it's giving me Aquatope vibes. It kind of, I will say that there are some bits of it that I do enjoy, and because the animation is so good, like I'm intrigued just on that point alone. But like it was one of those things where, so a good pilot episode, right, in terms of like traditional Western media, a good pilot episode is supposed to make you understand like the long-term plight that the main character has, right? And it's supposed to like sort of give you a guiding light to what you think that the rest of the show will be like and what it will be about. However, after watching the first episode, I really didn't get a sense of that whatsoever. It was like, she makes a big deal about like her idol and like how she also wants to wear a sailor uniform, like her mom did. Uniform. And then it turns out she got the wrong uniform, but then they're like, whatever, you'll wear it anyways. And hear me out. This is my theory, just my theory right now, called shot 69420 no scope. Okay. The reason, they're letting her keep her uniform, right? So the thing here is, I imagine her mom's going to die. Maybe this is just me watching too many dark shows. I thought the same thing. Okay, are you getting those vibes? Because like she has some death vibes for sure. Right? Okay. Because what? Like, think about it. They let her keep the uniform. This gives you the point now, the thread where, okay, this suit, this uniform will be significant to her for multiple reasons. One, because it'll be different from everyone else. Her mom made it. And then if something else happens, like her mom dying, she'll really value this sailor outfit, and then it gives her more of a reason to want to wear this uniform and continue to finding progressing down the story of her life. Yeah. So after I think episode 2, you do get a little bit more of a peek of what's going on into the world, but I myself still feel like this show is a little bit sluggish. Mm-hmm. It hasn't quite picked up in episode 2 either. Yeah. But I am getting after the second episode,
I'm just starting to think it's more and more likely. Just saying, cold shot.
Her mom definitely has like sickly mom vibes. If she had the sideways ponytail down one shoulder thing, she is 100% dead. If she had that hairstyle, it would have been like she would have died episode 1. You know, like
the opener.
It's that as soon as a girl ties up their hair in that fashion and they're a mom, it's inevitable. You just die. It's like it's like
what's reverse of plot armor?
Yeah, it's like plot. I don't even know.
Bait?
It's just plot bait, yeah. So, but yeah, I do think like even if you don't care about the show at all, I think it's worth watching for just the animation because legitimately, I felt like so much of those episodes were just like screenshot worthy for like how beautiful some of the, especially like the landscape art was, and
oh yeah,
so yeah.
But at the same time, there were some frames where I thought it was literally a screenshot, like someone rendered it, like scanned it in, and it's not fully rendered.
Huh, that's
just
interesting because I don't remember those scenes. I just remember just being like, "Oh, what the heck? Why is this show so pretty?" But okay,
there were scenes where it was absolutely gorgeous, but there's like it's like two shows. There's like it just felt like some of it was beautifully animated, and the other just maybe it was art style. And you know me, I'm a little bit more picky, I guess, when it comes to art style, I guess. So, but yeah, that was that. And I think, are you watching any of the other ones like coming up here, like on Mal, like World of Leodale?
No, but the show that I do want to watch, and the one that we mentioned before, was Fantasy Bishoujo. The life with an ordinary guy who reincarnated into a total fantasy knockout. I haven't watched this, but this is definitely one that I'm interested in because the setup is so good. So I need to watch that. This is on my homework list. I'll get back to you next week on what I thought about it.
Yeah, we both have to watch this one because I don't think I saw this when it went live. So
the next show I did watch, however, on Crim's request was Tokyo 24 Ward, and you know,
what did you think?
So I went into this being like, okay, if Crim recommended this to me, it's got to be awful. And
thanks, man. I didn't recommend it because it was okay. Whatever.
And so my first impression was like, oh, the animation's pretty good. And then like seeing now, oh, it's animated by Cloverworks, which also did Akebi. So I was like, okay, yeah, like the show is pretty cleanly animated. And then I was watching the first episode and I just got so confused. It was like one of the most like confusing first episodes I think I've watched, where like,
guess you're just not a hero, dude.
Yeah, I guess I'm not. Like, so they set you up with this main character who like wanted to be a hero growing up, and then he like gave up on it, and then he's mixed up with like two other dudes who are like also extraordinary people. Like, because like the main character
literally looks like Xell. Like 100. I cannot tell you. I kept watching the show and I was like, that's Xell. That's him. That's straight up him.
I actually do have green hair and circle glasses, so I can't I can't fault you for that. But so in any case, like the narrative in the first episode didn't hook me in. I was really confused at like what the sort of the narrative was supposed to be, and like they made the main character seem like this guy who wanted to be a hero but failed, but like still in his heart of hearts wants to be a hero. And then he's mixed up with so basically the three main characters, the three main dudes, they're called RGB because of their hair, and like they're each like extraordinary in their kind of own way. Like the red haired guy is like a graffiti artist who's a live streamer, and and so they just all have very like different family backgrounds and like sort of ideas and stuff. And I guess it's going to be about sort of like the Three Musketeers going off doing hero things. But I don't know. I felt like the first episode was just kind of a mess. And so I didn't know if I didn't really have an opinion after the first episode, because I was just like, oh, these characters are just so weird, and like it feels like they're like not in the same world sometimes, where like the blue-haired guy, like besides the fact that his room had some like his phone was high tech, like I would have never thought that he was in like a futuristic world, but then like the other guy's like super high tech and fantasy, like, and I don't know. So I was mostly just like, first episode didn't wow me. It could be better than I give it credit for, but I wasn't impressed.
So again, I didn't recommend this because I thought it was good. I'm going to clarify that again because I watched this and I was just like, okay, well, let's see this, right? I just wanted to show Xell, right? So, and I ended up watching it because I had, looked at it and like the art style as I flipped through the episode, I was like, oh, it looks kind of like futuristic. It has like what's that video game? It's not like your Rappa. It's like there's an old game that felt like it was a lot of street graffiti.
Are you talking about? Oh my god, I know what you're talking about. It was on Dreamcast. Jet Set Radio.
Yes, Jet Set. It had Jet Set Radio vibes.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So I watched it and I'm like, okay, it definitely has Jet Set Radio vibes, just in, like aesthetically and like the way the characters are. They very much so feel like they are, but the story, I think I could see why it could kind of be confusing, but at parts it just seems like it wants to be this like sci-fi show that has like, okay, well, these three are special, RGB, and there's clearly somebody that's either hacking or has reaching out from another dimension that's now putting them on a certain mission, right? Mm-hmm. Essentially giving them, hey, would you save this innocent woman or would you try to stop this train? And it's like, well, they write it off like, oh, well, how is that possible? Who is this? You're not real. And it turns out they are, like, this person that called them predicted it, and so now there's like this little weird mystery element to it. Yeah, and they're trying to figure that out. So it has its parts where it's like a little bit all over, and it has parts where I guess like of the shows this season, this isn't the worst one.
Yeah.
So like if it means anything to you, Tokyo 24th Ward by no means is a great show, but visually it does look like Jet Set Radio. So if you're into that kind of stuff, then you might like this. But story-wise, it's sort of this sci-fi actiony that I think is a little bit of a mess. But yeah, again, not the worst thing you'll be watching this season, at least not yet.
Yeah, and I guess with that, Slow Loop is if you're into sort of like cutesy, like slow-paced shows. Like if you liked Eurocamp, I think you might like Slow Loop. It's a show that is very wholesome and slow, like the episode title says, or the show title says, and
feels like you're in a slow loop. Oh man.
Well, but the thing is, like, I enjoy shows like this because they know what they're going for. It's not slow because like they couldn't tell the story correctly. It's just meant to sort of be like, I don't know. I like the way I describe these shows is they take like the mediocrities of life and they just like give it a little push, right? And so I enjoyed Slow Loop a little bit, but I don't think it's quite as good as say like I think some of the heavy hitters from the same genre. But I did want to mention Slow Loop. But I think other than that, I think there's one more show that was on here on this list that I think Crim has been really looking forward to.
There's two shows, and there's one show I wanted to see. Okay, let me clarify. I just wanted to see it. I guess what you mean. And then second off, there's a show also that I decided to watch. It was Tribe 9, and it was about extreme baseball. And like the pickup line or the hook was that it synopsis said extreme baseball. I had no idea what that meant, right? And so I was like, what is extreme baseball? Is it like and one baseball? Are you like doing tricks on your like off your opponent's helmet or something? Like I don't understand. So I watched it, right? And I was like, okay, you know what? We let's watch. I think this could be like a futuristic sports anime, and it's got the worst of everything, and I think this might be the actual worst thing you could watch this season. Like I found it, dude. I think I found it. I found the X-arm. You know, I found the X-arm of this season. The animation is like really bad, like old school Beast Wars, like 3D animation reboot. Any of those shows, like for some of the vehicles. Right? Like the vehicles are all 3D, but they look bad, like real bad. Like, oh my God. And somewhere along the way, they're batting with like robots. They're like, and like, yeah, they're like playing with what is essentially like, it looks like Tron, but baseball. If you ever watch Tron, the movie, it's baseball, but the baseball version of that. And there's like, there's randomly dudes in a mech suit that like example, he has the ability, like I just remember laughing so hard. His hand opens up in his mech suit. He sucks the baseball into his palm, and then he essentially like shoots it out at lightning fast speed against a kid who's just casually in a suit holding up a bat, right? Like, so I don't know what's going on in the show. I don't even know why they're in this situation where they have to play baseball this hardcore, because the thing is, the story is so dumb and like I just cannot pay attention to it. And like all of a sudden, how like the bat that the in classic anime style, the dude batting, he starts doing his monologue and he's just like, and then he says something dumb, right, to try to sound badass, and then his bat lights up on fire. Essentially, it's like on fire with electricity surrounding it, and he nails the robot dude's second pitch out of there, and it like, dude, it goes right back. The ball goes flying back, and it's like this spiraling blue ball, and it just like obliterates the dude in the armor, and he goes like flying through like I think like the Tokyo Tower or something like that. And I'm just like, what am I watching, dude?
The show is the show that has the character designer from Danganronpa, and so you haven't played those games, right, Crim?
Nope.
So those shows are about like super high schoolers essentially, and they just have like super over the top skills and whatnot. And so I guess this is like their version of it, but except it's baseball now. I don't know, man. Like, why baseball?
What? I just want you to watch it, and I want you to tell me what you think it's
okay.
What's going on.
What if for next week? Because like honestly, I'm just kind of disappointed with the season. I know I haven't made it a secret that like the season hasn't been that great, but what if we take and watch some of these dregs of the season, and next week we come back and we talk about the worst anime that we've watched, and we talk about what is the worst anime this season. I feel like that would actually be a more interesting episode, because like this, like I'm honest to God, like I just feel like this season is just so full of mostly just mediocre to bad stuff. Really, like I've tried watching some of the stuff and I just can't get through it.
Well,
you know,
you said you've tried watching some of this stuff, but you failed to mention the banger of the season.
Oh, I'm sorry. The previously delayed show, the one that we've been waiting for.
So it's finally here. You know, I feel like every year we got to have one, right? The one before it, you had the High School DxD, right? Then you go from High School DxD, then it evolves, it escalates, right? It goes up into like Monster Musume. That escalated up into like, then you had interspecies reviewers. And then that went on to like Misery Incel, like, you know, redo of a healer, right? And then this year we have our one of those. What do you call those? Problematic animes of... I don't even know what you call those animes, but we have it's here. It's here now. It's finally here. It's World's End Harem. And okay.
Oh yeah, the show that we've all been waiting for.
Look, I know that everyone would we saved the best for last here, okay? Now, I'll be honest with you. I thought this was going to be like already a pretty bad show, but I'll tell you what. They actually weren't. It was not as bad as, you know, like let's say Reto the Healer. It was not as bad as you know, like interspecies reviewers. Like it's like just a few notches under reviewers, that is. But okay, so here the first show. I could see why there's a delay.
Yeah.
I really do see why there's a delay here. It would like. Oh my God. Okay, so let's be very forward here. I'm gonna tell you the synopsis again if you missed it. The MK virus. You can probably figure it out. If you haven't, it's the male killer virus. There are now 5 men left in the world, in a world of women, and they must repopulate, right? Or they must live and try.
It's Duke Nukem all over again.
Yep, it's Duke Nukem all over again. But legitimately, I think like things that are just so dumb about this show that are so bad. But like, it's like a train wreck that I haven't stopped watching. I even watched the second episode. I told Xell, let's delay filming so I could watch the second episode. and after the first episode, in anime they censor things in a specific way, right? Like either like blur it slightly or something like that. when I watched the first episode, I thought my TV had dead pixels. I'm not joking you. It looked like if you had blocks and blocks of like dead pixels that weren't perfectly like, outlining any body part or anything. It's just literally random dead pixels. Then I was like, okay, hold on, is it my TV? So I watched something else and I put it back. I'm like, oh no, this is intentional. What is this trash? This censoring is terrible. What are you doing? That's just the beginning. The next thing is in this world. Oh my God. Okay. Apparently this is the message the show wants to give you. Without men, apparently women go into pure chaos and they don't know how to handle anything. I'm like, what? Like legitimate? I can't like women were homeless, and it's like, where in the world did they need men so that they could just like? It didn't make sense. Like the natural order of life was thrown out of chaos, and I'm just like, holy crap, dude, this is so bad. Like, this is so bad. And I'm just like, dude, this is real, right? There's 22 mangas of this. I swear, I see it every time when I go to Kinokuniya. There's a whole section, and I'm just like, how is there 22 issues of this?
Oh my God.
And the whole time they're like, yeah, you have to mate with like somebody right now. And the main character's like, no, I just want to find the love of my life, the girl that I promised I would find her when I get out of freeze or whatever, right? So as you know, really, like if you wanted to, you could say this was a show about love and science.
Yeah.
I think that helps. I think it helps. I don't know. It doesn't really.
So
legit, no, dude. I want you to watch. If there's one show that's so bad and I need you to watch, it's this one because it's jarring. Like legitimately, I'm just like, my head hurts. My head hurts. I am watching this and I'm just like, hold on. I have very few brain cells left and I am losing them right now. So I am keeping this because they have the dude they thaw out of ice. It's like, okay, you're a scientist. Why? I was like, why wouldn't you just have him try to work on help get a team together, to figure out a solution to the virus? No, the solution is just mate with everyone. And legitimately, they catch themselves. They know what kind of show they are because they reference them. Like they're aware because the character goes, well, why don't we just do this? And the main booby girl one with purple hair, when she looks at the main character, she's like, we don't know. And I'm just like, that's just good writing right there. You just got your way out of that. Nice. Good. But dude, my head hurts. And then so second episode, they're like, you know what? You're right. Oh my God, you're a genius. We will just make a vaccine. And then everyone's like, oh my God, he's the smartest man alive. It's just like, why did you try to do that before? And then like they eventually reveal why they didn't do it before, but then I was like, that's also dumb. Hold on. And there's like, okay, without going too much because I got something for this. Don't worry, your boy is gonna come through with an episode dedicated to this show because it's just that good. Oh man. They're oh my God, it's so bad. Like there's a one scene specifically where he has this bodyguard, and what you presume to be his bodyguard, and then he has a nurse, right? The show does still lean into a little bit of the problematic stuff. Like, it's like, why does everyone have to have a lolly character? You know what I mean? Like, can you get the weird
Wait, you're telling me that this show where it says that women can't survive without men and they go into homelessness and don't know how to handle society anymore without men leading the way is problematic? Crim, tell me more. Sorry, go ahead.
I didn't put that I didn't think of the bigger picture here. You're right, my dude. You're right. I tried to. You know what? I tried to apply logic. My bad. I'll take a lap. That's on me. This is why I'm always upset when I buy those crappy anime-based video games and then they turn out to suck. All right, so are you surprised that I'm surprised?
Dude, like everything you've told me so far about this anime, it's like someone watched the movie Idiocracy. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, oh yeah.
So
Dude,
for people
got
who don't know
electrolytes.
what Idiocracy is about, it's basically like the world's smart people have all died off, and now you're just left with idiots who run the world, and they're like going under crises, like they can't grow plants anymore because they keep thinking that Mountain Dew will like water plants, and they had no idea that water, which they think only comes from the toilet, wouldn't work on plants. So that's the society that we're dealing with here right now. This guy watched Idiocracy, the movie, and he was like, you know what? This is all wrong. It's not that dumb. It's not that there's only dumb people left. It's all that men died. That's what's really wrong with this world. It's because when men die, women don't know what to do. That's like what I think is going through this guy's brain when he wrote the show.
It would make sense, right? Like, and like, oh my god, I don't even know how. Like, when a woman, okay, he has like this. Right when he gets thawed out, he freaks out. He's like, where is she? Right? Like, where's the girl that I'm in love with? So he runs. He's like, what happened? Where's my dad? Where's my family? And then they're like, they revealed him outside, right? What the world looks like. And it's only been 5 years, by the way. Somehow, like, the world is just like completely gone right side, like belly up, right? But anyways, it's been 5 years. And he runs out of the train, and the whole show, he's like a secret, right? So whenever a woman, like in the first episode, saw a man, it was one of the funniest and cringy and most dumb and awful writing things I've ever seen in my life. They're like, oh my god, a real life man. And it's like, I'm like, it's been 5 years, dude. Like they freak out, and they essentially are zombies. And they rush him. And then they're like, quick, get him back. They can't know there's a man around still.
Oh my god.
No way, dude. This is a real show. This is a real show, dude. That, like,
so you know how we were talking about we're gonna review all these bad shows? Like, you're winning right now. You're winning that race. Having watched that show.
Am I winning this race or am I losing? Because I feel like I shaved like 10 years of my life off watching that, dude. But like, it's so dumb, man. Like, oh god, whatever. You'll get the full experience when I make that video. Trust.
Yeah, Crim is gonna make a 100% serious review on World's End Harem.
I will
luck,
do
soldier.
my civil duty to the community, and I will watch this show, and I will review it honestly.
Can we just make this a series called Crim's Crap or something? Like, I would watch it. Suffer for us, Crim. Suffer.
I'll also play the anime games based off of it.
Oh my god. So anyways, that's like the summation of this season's anime. What do we think, guys? What do we think?
So I guess so now to wrap it all up, closing thoughts. We thought this season was bad, and it turns out it's actually worse.
Somehow
it found a way to not meet the bar that was on the ground.
Yeah, again, you know what show people could watch instead of any of these other garbage shows is Osama Ranking. I'm just saying. I'm just putting it out there. You can just save yourself all that pain and watch an actually good show.
Or yeah, you know what? If not, let your eyes rest for a season. Go read manga or something like that. I guess that's still using your eye. Go read manga. Go watch the newest Disney Plus show. At least that is at the. You know what I mean? Like, just
go watch your backlog. You know, like we talked about it last week. We talked about all these shows this week about shows we're catching up on. Hey, do that maybe. This
is that, like, you know how like every time online, I think this is the perfect time to capitalize on that thing that people always tell you, like in like Valorant and whatnot, like go touch grass in a 6 feet distance with your face mask on and obviously be vaxxed and stuff. But like, Yeah, this season is bad, dude. This season is bad, man. Like, it is bad. Like, oh my god. I don't know why. As I told you, I really mean it when I say this. I would alternate between, after every episode, I would watch an episode of Slam Dunk. So much better. Because I could, can you imagine just sitting there watching this in blocks? Like, holy crap, dude. So, again, my closing thoughts on this season, at the very least, maybe Xell is going to come back and somehow find a way to convince us all that this season was a gem, but it's so bad. So anything else you can do, do that.
This is a good time to go explore other hobbies. Oh my god, what an episode of Niisan podcast this week. But I think, dude, I'm genuinely excited about our next episode where we review the worst animes of the season, and we're gonna crown next week the worst anime of the season in a season that already sucks, and I think that's gonna be awesome.
Dude, okay, hold on. This is like the Razzies, right? Like,
yeah, exactly.
So we're making the Razzies of like anime. But wait, so yeah, next week we're going to find the worst anime of this season.
Yes.
And then we're going to crown it a winner or loser?
Winner.
So it's a winner.
What do we call this? What Razzies is something you win. You earn the Razzies, right? So like I don't know what the anime version of that is, but
the I don't know, the dishonorable mention, I guess.
Something like that. We'll figure it out.
The maid of dishonor. I don't know. We'll name it later, but yeah, I guess oh man. I'm ahead. I've already done my homework. Just remember, you got to watch a lot of things in back to back.
That's true. You're ahead of me on this already, so I gotta
cramming.
Get started.
I've spread my studying out. I've worked ahead, so I'm ready.
All right. Well, with that said, guys, thank you guys so much for hanging in there with us. Do let us know, though, if there are shows that we have legitimately looked over, because I would be very curious. I know there are a couple shows here that I didn't end up watching, but I think I probably should have. And but yeah, other than that, we'll see you guys next week when we come up with our anime Razzies. So we'll catch you guys then. Thanks so much for watching, and see you guys next time.